Welcome back to the Matchday podcast. This week we're going to review some UEFA Champions League football, some interesting news. I'm Richard.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Peter.
Yeah, so we have a guest on today, Ben. He's our co-worker. He's going to help give his input on some of the interesting news that was released this week.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. So, Peter, what do we got?
Let's start with the Champions League is up and starting tomorrow. So let's talk about Man City's ban and the 2-year ban I believe they got, and what's the chance that they can appeal that, and what other things that comes with this ban.
Yeah. Well, like I was reading earlier that...
Is it a surprise though?
Well, they've been
Is it a
talking about it for
surprise,
a couple of years now.
Yeah, ever since the leak of documents came out in that German newspaper there,
Yeah.
I think it's about a bit more than a year ago, from what I recall.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I believe the ban was only issued by UEFA for now, but it's going to be reinvestigated by a third party, I believe. That's what Man City is requesting to be done. So we'll see if they manage to get it overturned, or maybe some type of smaller restriction placed on them.
Well,
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
money speaks. That's what they say. So.
It does, yeah.
And
well,
that club definitely is not shy of money. So.
yeah. Well, they were sanctioned by UEFA a few years ago, if I recall, but it was just like a kind of a fine and a restriction on their thing. So this is definitely a bigger penalty for them, and it could be some bad times for them over the next few years, especially if the Premier League conducts their own investigation. Which
Yeah, that's right. They've been talking about that too.
So if they do, does that mean Liverpool will get a couple titles that was stolen away from them, or what?
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe they get something similar like Chelsea did with transfer bans and whatnot, so they can't bring
Yeah,
in
true.
players or something along those lines. If the Premier League does their investigation, maybe a cash fine too.
yeah, it could be something like that. They could,
Again, money is not a problem to that club, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, but 30 million? No problem. I think that's what it is, the 30 million.
30 million euros, I believe.
Yeah, I think like if they negotiate, they put it up to 60 and then 2 years gone. And then they'll make their money back through the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read some articles that have worried that it'll be like 2 years where City will not be able to accrue points in the FIFA system or in the UEFA system, and that could give them some tougher draws when they do get back into Champions League.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So if it does stand, the ban for the 2 years period or a year, that if they do change that because they find it harsh or whatever the case is, will Pep leave City is the big question. Will Pepe stay over there at City, and will he hold his grounds for 2 years and not get bored of the hell, and maybe focus on Premier League for 2 years, and then I don't know.
Well, I did see a statement that was released by Manchester City, and it said that both Aguero and Pep would not be leaving Manchester City if the ban is not overturned. Now, that could change, of course.
Newspaper.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Would Aguero really stick around City?
Well, my biggest concern is if Manchester City is not in the UEFA Champions League, and they're still in the top four, the Champions League spots. Yeah, fifth place will get to go, but Man City is basically having an advantage at the Premier League by not having to compete in a additional competition, right?
Yeah, true.
yeah.
I think, guys, Aguero's future is down in Barcelona.
Yeah, possibly.
I think he'll be, if not a long term, but a shorter term replacement of Messi when he's injured. Like for instance, now I know that a couple guys are out, right?
Yeah.
So like Dembele is out for a while. I believe
Suarez.
Suarez is out. So these guys are really just kind of like. I think they've been in a search for players. Now I'm not saying that they're Aguero is a better player than Dembele or, for instance, Suarez. However, just because Messi and Aguero has a very similar style of play. I guess Argentina in general. So that could be kind of like a replacement or a backup. And it's a club that has money, right? So it's not one of those clubs that is shy to pay the player like what they did for Coutinho. So if they want somebody, I'm sure they will open up their wallets, and I can see that happening, right? Now I don't see a switch that Aguero ever will come to. I mean, sorry, if Messi would ever come to Liverpool, which are rumors. I'm sorry, to City at any point stage in time. I don't think it will ever switch leagues. Period.
Yeah.
I think if Messi's done, I think Messi's done. I don't know how you guys see it, but that's my opinion. If anything, he'll finish his career as assistant manager or something.
Well, I don't think Messi's going to Man City, period, even if Man City doesn't get the UEFA Champions League ban. And then if they do, then that's, twice is guaranteed that he's not going to go there.
Yeah.
He's obviously wants to play Champions League football, don't you agree?
Oh, yeah. It's the top level in club football, and he definitely was going to want to participate in that as long as he can.
Yeah.
So just imagine staying at City, Aguero, and 2-year ban. What money that he would miss out on when it comes to sponsorship, like his own private sponsorships. Like for instance, I know for Champions League is the commercial for Nissan, right? I believe was
Yes.
the auto commercial.
Yes.
So like again, so he's
Well, it's
not
not just sponsorship money. It's prize money too, right?
Exactly.
You get money for the how far you go in the competition, and I believe if you're like top goal scorer and those kind of things too, right?
Oh yeah, that adds your value, right? So
Yeah, and I also believe that they got some contract, in their contracts, they get bonuses too for performance in the Champions League.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things in the contract that I just can't see Aguero sticking around if City got that ban.
But let's not even just limit it to Aguero. There's Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh,
there's
Jesus.
Leroy Sané,
Bernardo
who
Silva.
has been missing
Bernardo.
for a while. Yeah, Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. If anything, I read something about Bernardo. Just say, you know what, I might go back to Porto. I mean, sorry, Benfica. I doubt that he will do that. If anything, I think he's gonna get picked up in the Barcelona area. I think he's got that kind of style of play in there, anyways. The Barcelona tic-tac-toe. He's good driving the ball. He's got that good footwork on the ball. I think he would fit Barcelona style versus Real Madrid, if anything. Although Bayern Munich would be an option for him too. There's guys that I think that he could fit in there.
Yeah.
I just don't see maybe. I don't know if Bernardo Silva would ever leave over there. But De Bruyne is an option for Bayern Munich, I think, and Bayern would pay probably for him. I really would see that. And Real Madrid, I think, for De Bruyne, if anything.
Yeah, well, De Bruyne is a world-class talent, and I can't see him sitting out that competition for 2 years. It'll be worth more just to get him out for Man City because, without the Champions League money, they're going to need to come up with. They're going to have to make some decisions.
Yeah, for sure.
And De Bruyne, I believe he signed through like 2020. He's locked up in a contract beyond the 2-year ban window.
Yeah.
So he could command a pretty hefty transfer fee just to have somebody of that caliber locked up that long.
That's the thing, right? That if these guys, it's in their contract that they must play Champions League football, or they probably don't have a penalty fee to.
I don't think that they have that specifically in their contract because that is partially based on performance too, right?
True.
Like they could not finish in the table in the Champions League spot, so then they can't request to leave because they got 6th or 5th in the table, right?
True.
I mean, but it's different if they got relegated. That could be in their contract.
Okay, not maybe leave, but maybe no violation penalty. You see what I mean? So
Maybe the club would be more lenient on the transfer fees. Maybe
true. Yep.
Just because they can't afford the high wages, only playing Premier League football, possibly. And who knows?
Well, it's something that I think City will lose out on money big time. But again, the ownership doesn't have any problem with the money. It is known for that. So
Well, no, they don't have any problem with the money, but if their finances of the club are getting this much scrutiny, then they're gonna have to kind of make it look like they're trying to keep it clean, or else risk further sanction.
yeah,
Well, and then let's say, Man City continue on this new path that they're on right now, not winning the league, because most likely Liverpool's going to win it this year. And the form that they're in, possibly again next year, they'll be contending for the league. Man City this year has fallen down drastically compared to the last 2 years. So if they continue on that path, again, maybe their attendance, their viewership, their fan base might, trickle down a bit, not be as big, right?
Well, I can definitely see a reduction in their fan base if they're not playing in European football, at least globally,
Yeah.
because they're just not going to get to as many eyes globally.
Yeah. And then
well, City right now 25 points. They're a game behind, but 25 points behind Liverpool. This is game we sent 26. We passed game 26. We're talking about. Except City's left to play West Ham, so I mean that's most likely a 3-point, for them. But if not, then they're 25 points behind Liverpool. If they do win, that's 22 points behind. So that's a large gap.
well, right now you can't even say for sure they're going to get 3 points because their form lately has been quite poor, and they've been dropping points against teams they should be taking 3
Oh,
points
yeah.
away from,
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to the next one, okay?
Yeah, let's go
right.
into the Champions League. Round
Champions
of
League.
16, first leg, right?
Yeah, round of 16.
That starts on Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dortmund and PSG open up the round of 16.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' prediction on that?
I can see this being a high-scoring fixture. Dortmund's got a lot of firepower. That Holland kid has been scoring like crazy since he got there, but PSG's got a lot of talent. They're a bit of a soap opera this year.
Yeah.
I've caught them a few times this year on the French TV.
Yeah, well, Dortmund even brought in Emre Can from Juventus.
Yeah, he scored a beauty goal against Leverkusen there a couple of weeks back, man.
Yeah, and so, Dortmund kind of packed up some players, right?
Yeah.
PSG, however, I did see that Mbappe threw a hissy fit being subbed off, they were up 5-0, I believe.
Yeah, they were up 5-0, and he didn't like coming off. I guess he wanted to get the net 6 and chill goal.
So,
I just don't get that, right? I mean, I think Toxel, I guess his name is Toxels. The manager, he's got a lot of
Yeah, Tuchel.
Tuchel, there you
yeah.
go. Yeah, he's got a lot. My pronunciation.
He's got a lot of egos to manage there.
Man, I'm telling you. But
Yeah.
but again, it's the problem. Okay, you got a squad that's the bench squad is if nearly not good or even better than your first squad. Again, you talk about Arab money over there.
That actually, to go back to the previous topic, that's a team that's got to be watching what's going on in Man City as well, because
Yeah.
PSG is another club that kind of operates with that business model in mind.
Exactly,
Interesting,
and
yeah.
that would be interesting if they get kicked out because it's just not okay. I just cannot see to have a squad in French league. Why do you need a squad, or how even do you afford a squad that they have in a French league? And I don't get it. PSG, large club, okay, great,
yeah.
good football, okay, no, but again, how do you in a French league consecutively win league year after year after, and nobody questions that how they get these players and how can they afford them, and it's just out of ordinary, And
I mean,
was it 8 years or 9 years in a row now they've been winning?
Well, Monaco popped one a few years back.
Oh yeah, that's
but-
right. Okay, My bad.
But I get what you're saying. Pretty much ever since the current ownership took over, they've been dominating the French league. But that's kind of how the French league works. If you look at the history of it, is that you'll have a team like Lyon before that, and Marseille had a run, and Rennes in the 50s.
Every league kind of has the powerhouse, and I get that. But consecutively, like just nonstop.
Yeah.
But you know, PSG arguably does have the biggest fan base there, and also PSG is not just a football club; they're kind of like a fashion or like a trend for a lot of the youth now in the world. They got a deal with Jordan.
Oh yeah,
they got this fashion line. You know, a lot of kids that don't even watch football buy their merch. And that's all revenue for the club, and popularity.
I was at the West End there last weekend there, and there's a big PSG presence in like the Nike store there.
Yeah. So PSG is just more than just a football club. It's like basically the top clubs in England too, like Manchester United. A lot of people maybe might not be a real fan, but they have their merchandise, their clothing.
Are you calling them plastic?
No. Man City would be more of a plastic, but
it's all good, man. We all know.
It's just Man United is so big too, worldwide.
No, it's true,
there's a lot of people that buy their their joggers, their tops.
See, I can't compare PSG versus Man United.
No, of course not. You can't
because at least I can go to Man United and be like, okay, you got a history, okay, and I'm not talking about just England in general, but in Europe in general, they have a history. They made history. There's some quality years of football going back to history from the start of the 18 whatnot years, because they've been in 130 some years, I believe they've been on, and so they have been, they had their times, their legend times, And then every 10 years or so they pop up a win or two in Europe,
Yeah.
So like I just can't see you can't comparing PSG to them,
Well, PSG.
It's just the recent last 20 years or 10 years maybe I want to say.
Yeah. Well, PSG, they got they first made Ligue 1 in 74, 75, and they haven't been relegated since. They're the only team in France to not be relegated in that time. But what they do lack in history, they make up for in geography, because Paris is like a very big city in Europe, and they're really the only team from there.
That's true, yeah.
So, they can, there are some revenue streams from having that kind of a market to yourself.
And Lyon has actually better, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I was looking at Lyon's history. They actually have more, I want to say, better history than PSG. Despite the last few years here.
Yeah.
But Lyon dominated the decade before Paris did.
Exactly, yeah.
But getting back to the game week here, this PSG squad has some talent on there.
They have a lot of talent.
I've
caught them a few times this year, and even I caught them last weekend against Amiens. They fell behind 3-0 like at 40 minutes, and then they just flipped it on, and they ended up getting up 4-3 before giving up the equalizer at the end. But that was a crazy game.
Yeah. So do you guys think this PSG squad has it in them to beat this BVB squad that's starting to build up?
Personally, I think these teams here, whoever is going through, they have a large chance to be in the final.
I think so too.
So this is like BVB right now. They're actually, I think they're equal right now as far as quality players. Now, what it will come down to, does PSG have as good defense as Dortmund, or is Dortmund is just too young of a defenders in there? We'll see how it goes. They are coming from a tougher league, Dortmund. And will PSG be able to is the manager will be able to handle guys like Mbappe here?
Well, I think we can all agree that both Haaland and Mbappe are going to be on the score sheet, if not possibly in the both legs of this matchup.
Oh yeah, I could totally see this being a kind of a track meet where it just goes end to end for a fair stretch of it.
Yeah.
And they got Sancho and then quite a good players over there.
However, Marco Royce, I believe, is out on injury. Not quite sure how serious it is at
Okay.
this time. So that could be a huge miss for Dortmund there.
That could be because I give PSG the edge on the back line right now. I think guys like Meunier and Silva and Marquinhos, they kind of got a bit more experience than what I've seen from the Dortmund guys.
I'm a little undecided who's gonna come out as the winner in this fixture. To be honest, both squads are.
All right, let's
phenomenal.
go. Let's go to your predictions, okay? And then we'll
right.
go.
So
I need a paper and pen. I gotta write this down because I'm gonna.
Oh,
go
you
back.
can just watch the replay. Don't worry about that.
yeah.
That's
well,
true. Okay. All right. Fine.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess, not a really guess. I'm gonna go with Dortmund. I think they're gonna come out victorious.
Oh, PSG is the squad for me in this one. I think
Interesting.
they're going to win a high-scoring fixture here.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You talking about first leg? You talk. Listen. This is Dortmund home, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dortmund's home with the first leg. Yeah, Dortmund's home with the first leg. Yeah, I'm talking about both. I'm talking about the actual. In both legs.
Yeah,
here,
that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I like-
Dortmund over
yeah.
the two legs.
Yeah, I like PSG to go through here.
So one Dortmund, one PSG.
You going for Dortmund?
Yes.
You going for PSG?
Yes.
Ah. Okay. For the first leg, we're talking about no second leg, eh?
No.
All right.
Oh, we're talking both legs.
Yeah, we're talking who's going through.
First
Yeah.
and second, going on to the round quarterfinals.
No. Let's go for the first leg. Okay.
Okay, first leg is still BVB for me.
I'm going draw.
Draw. Yeah, it's a draw. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. So draw,
All right.
and
Draw, BVB.
and then Richie says BVB. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we can move on to the next one, I think. Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. So Liverpool's going back to the stadium where they won the Champions League, right?
The Wanda Metropolitano.
Yep. You think they're gonna have another victory there?
I can see it. I mean, I will admit I haven't really followed the Spanish league any this year, but I know I've heard a lot of rumblings that Atletico is not displaying the form that they normally do.
Yes, that signing they have, João Felix, hasn't quite flourished like they were expecting him to so far this season, I believe.
Yeah, well, sometimes it takes a couple of years for you to kind of get adjusted to a new place, especially when you're that young.
Yeah, he is quite young. What do you think? What's your input on this matchup?
okay. So as much as I am positive, I mean I'm a Liverpool fan, but okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw. It's a away game.
You got to remember, Liverpool squad right now is full. Everybody is fit.
That's fine. I just believe that Atletico will park the bus. I'm dead serious.
That is kind of Simeone's move over the years.
And yeah, so he's an Argentine coach, I believe. So very, as far as I remember, his style of play, it is park the bus. However, I think they'll play the counter attack and they'll have moments where will make you think that they actually are, a threat to Liverpool, and they may be threat because there's some speed in that team. Okay, so don't forget that. Again, the style of play might pull a little tie there, and I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool might lose over there. And it won't be by a lot. I don't think so, but I believe that they might do a breakthrough, and Liverpool will have a hard time scoring there. I just have that feeling. The winter break just was at England. They did look a little rusty against Norwich. I gotta be honest. Just on the weekend, they weren't like on top of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, Norwich is fighting regulation, so they again parked the bus. That's
yeah,
what
Norwich put up a heroic defense there this weekend.
So, I mean, yes. And I can see, it depends how Atletico plays. But if they do play defensive, I think it's a bigger club, has more solid defense. I think they can put Liverpool under frustration. and they can maybe break out and obviously win a 1-0 or 2-1 win,
Yeah,
or something like that.
Sure, but Mane was subbed on and he scored the winning goal. I can guarantee you Mane is going to be on the starting lineup in this fixture, and obviously he's itching to start scoring even more goals, right?
I know criticism is gonna come at me because I obviously support Liverpool, but I do have to say that over the two legs, my opinion, Liverpool will win at home, Anfield, no worries, and I believe that the aggregate between the two, Liverpool will take this to the next round. However, I think the first leg here, as we talk, that might change my second decision. Depends how Atletico will pull off this game. You did say that the squad is full. It's great. I just find that, and they've been recently so good in defensively, clean sheets in the Premier League and etc. However, do I believe that there is errors in there? I see errors every game. And last game, I gotta tell you, Alisson saved Liverpool big time against Norwich. And Norwich, again, what they did is park the bus, sit back, wait, and then they had their opportunity. Pukki, however, unfortunately, was short on the pass to him, and then Alisson was able to grab it, make a touch on it. But it was a very, very fortunate. And do I want to call this a great goalkeeping? I don't know if it was that. I think it was a poor striker pass over there that Norwich.
I'm gonna argue that because Alisson saves them a lot. And it's just his top performance. That's Alisson.
Okay, yes, but I again, we were playing Atletico Madrid. At the end of the day, Atletico Madrid does stand in a good position right now in Spain. So I don't.
So does Liverpool in England.
That's a bit of an understatement there, Richie, about that.
All right, I say Liverpool.
Okay, well, I know whenever the draw went down, I thought that if the ones of the second place teams that could give Liverpool kind of frustrate them, it would have been Atletico.
You know why I actually want Liverpool to either lose, not by a lot, okay, but or tie. And do you know why I want that? I want it because they've been doing so well in Premier League. I'd rather have them lose in Champions League and have a second chance to come back hard at Anfield. And then wake them up that, hey, you're not unstoppable. It's a time to hey, still pull up your pants. Because sometimes, in players what happens is right now they're 34 games undefeated. Or I believe 34.
Something around there.
Yeah, around that. The only loss they had this year was that when the kids played against Villa, right?
Yeah. And that was in the
My bad. In Premier
EFL.
League they're 44 games undefeated. They're 5 short of
yes.
Of
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
44. Yeah. So 44 games undefeated. All I gotta say to that is, you have to somewhere lose a game, and I don't want it in Premier League. So let's lose a game here if we do, or tie a game and wake them up to, hey, let's pull our pants up. Like, for example, Napoli. Napoli is giving us a hard time going to Italy.
Actually, Napoli is the other team that beat you this year.
Yeah. So, I prefer? Yeah, I prefer to lose the first leg here, and then rather than Premier League and pull up the pants, and then let's focus on this, right? And then let's get them into, because I think that loss right here or a tie will wake them up and say, okay, hey guys, this is not Premier League. Okay, let's actually let's do a little better. And then I just want them to have a little wake up call down rather now than down the line, because further down the line I think there's other stronger teams that can affect Liverpool if next rounds.
Yeah, definitely.
Depends what the draw is. Like, for example, I'm not worried.
I think it's better if they get a loss in the Prem though, not the Champions League. That would be a wake up call just as good. Yeah. So I say Liverpool.
Yeah,
I'll go for a draw because I'm not gonna say I want to see them lose, but I rather have them. I want them to have a wake up call.
Yeah, I see Liverpool winning too. It's hard to say you don't see them winning with the form they're in at the moment.
I'm gonna get criticized for this. Yeah, like I said, I want to draw. I can't say loss, but I want them to have a draw, so when they come to Anfield, they can come back hard and show everybody what Anfield is about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then on Wednesday, we have Atalanta versus Valencia.
Yeah, a couple of squads who had big match day 6 games on the road to get to this stage.
Okay.
Valencia, they won at Ajax. I remember watching that with you.
Yeah.
And Atalanta took out Shakhtar Donetsk in Kharkiv. Nice 3-0 win for see them go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't been following these two teams specifically since the last Champions League, like the knockout stages.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is going to be a draw. Maybe Atalanta might pull off a win somehow because they're home.
Yeah.
They're at home. They score a lot.
Both teams are new to Champions League again this year. They haven't been in it last year. And
Valencia was in it last year. They were in the same group as United.
oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
But but they didn't last long in there. So
Yeah,
but,
they didn't make to this stage, no.
no, and they didn't go further than group stage, right?
Yeah.
So Atlanta again, it is a fresh club. So fresh in this
Yeah.
year, hasn't been there last how many years?
I think this is their first trip to Champions League, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it really?
I believe so.
Huh. So it
Or
will be a
first
good
time to round of 16 at least.
it'd be a challenge for them. And I can't really speak for Atlanta. I don't know like how they're going to
Yeah, they're in 4th in the Serie A table at the moment right now.
fourth.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
they
bad.
score a lot. I've
Okay.
got them a few times this year. I don't know how Valencia's doing this year, but I know they've had some good. They won Copa del Rey last year, and they had a deep run in the Europa League whenever they went down last year. So they've got some good recent
Yeah.
experience at the two-legged.
And
Ties here.
Valencia did finish out of the group stage here the first day.
Yeah,
Now
that was a tight group, though.
There was a tie group. Well, Chelsea had the same
Yeah,
goal difference and all that, and so 11 points with Chelsea. Ajax just a goal, a point shy.
I think Ajax had more points than Atalanta did in the group stage. To be honest with you,
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tough one to call.
I say a draw.
yeah, I'm gonna go with a draw here as well.
Atlanta.
Okay.
All right, Atlanta. Yeah.
Like I said, that is possible. They are at home. I'm gonna still stick with my prediction as a draw. Okay. Let's move on to Tottenham versus RB Leipzig. That's an interesting one. Jose Mourinho is gonna be overlooking this round of 16 for them, right? Back in Champions League.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think?
Leipzig was first in their group between Lyon, Benfica, Zenit.
Yeah, they were the lucky side that drew Zenit as their pot one.
I don't find Spurs as strong as they were last year.
No, and they're missing Kane. That's definitely they're gonna miss that. Yeah,
They
for
they
sure.
did bring some new firepower in though, and
That
that Dutch kid Bergwijn, I think his name is. I think he's gonna be something over there.
We'll see. I will. Champions League is a different
Yeah, of
story, right?
course.
So
They are playing at home though, so that's nice for them.
Yeah, and Leipzig's not a side. This is kind of new territory for them too. I think coming this deep into the Champions League. I know they had a good Europa League run a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
this is the big time now.
Tottenham's defense is vulnerable. We've seen that over the past few weeks in the Premier League.
Yeah, Jack Grealish seemed to be running through them pretty good there last weekend.
Yeah. So I think
I say Spurs.
interesting. I'm gonna say this is gonna end up in a draw, but it's gonna be a few goals from each side, a couple at least.
Yeah, I see Tottenham winning this match, and I see Tottenham winning, advancing through as well.
I see them advancing through, but I think this fixture right here will be a draw.
Spurs.
Okay,
Okay.
Spurs.
interesting.
You.
He says Spurs as well.
Spurs.
Tottenham.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I
Alright,
can
Spurs
see
it
I
is.
can see them nicking the win by the end there, but it's not gonna
Spurs.
be a comfortable win if they do win it. That's my prediction.
Remember, Kane's out. Son is good, but like I mean, guys, please, against Spurs against the what was the game that was yesterday?
Villa.
Villa, yeah.
Villa. Like guys, like please don't give me the Son is on fire. 94th minute. It was a defensive error, huge defensive error in a 94th minute. Villa had plenty of chances there in Premier League, and Spurs got really, really lucky to pull away with a win there.
Yeah, they were lucky.
You cannot tell me, and
But
again,
that's classic Jose Mourinho
Jesus, like
shithousery
that-
right there, pulling off a win in the end.
the brother pulled some off, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. They also had a penalty, which was a legit penalty. Like no, again, but. Okay, let's put it this way. They shouldn't be struggling with Aston Villa the way they did. Aston Villa put 2 goals on them, and they could have had much more. They could have had legit another 2 more. They had so many chances on Spurs that it was unreal. So for me to see Spurs put under a struggle that they were put under by Aston Villa, I just don't think that. Again, RB Leipzig, depends what they're gonna come with, but I just don't think that they're gonna go too far this year. I mean, anything can happen, but this year, I don't think they're as strong as they were last year.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So, and I think Mourinho knows that, and I think he's gonna. The only way he's gonna change that is, I think he's gonna play the park the bus and counter attack, and I think he's gonna kind of balance using that technique to balance the fact that they don't have Ericsson and etc. But I think being Ericsson out, it works for them a little better. I think. I actually think that Winks is doing a bad job there.
I think so. I think it was time for Ericsson to move on.
Oh, it definitely was, yeah.
So that squad is going through a rebuild. Players are gonna find different roles to play in.
Yeah, Rose is gone too, right? He
yeah.
went to Newcastle. So,
Yeah, and Walker Peters went to Southampton.
Yeah. So
And Trippier went to Atlético,
yeah,
right?
that's correct. Yeah, but
the
that was
summer.
yeah,
But he did leave too.
yeah. So, there's
they're rebuilding. They're switching their players out. There's gonna be a new Tottenham in the next couple of years here.
the new stadium and everything. They will do fine, and I agree with you. And then they did buy a new striker, right? That Baldwig guy, I guess his name.
Yeah,
is.
he plays like a striker center midfield role type position. I think he's capable of him being in more than one. But yeah, right now I think this is gonna end in a draw. And you guys say it's Tottenham, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we can move on to the next Tuesday game matches, right? Napoli versus Barcelona. So Napoli gave Liverpool quite a hard time in the group stages,
Oh yeah.
and
They did, but they're not in good form in the domestic league this year. They're in the second page of the Serie A table, I believe.
and they got a new manager, right?
Yeah, they got the old Milan manager, I believe.
Okay, yeah, they got rid of the
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
their last-
Ancelotti was there.
Ancelotti. He's at Everton now.
Yeah.
Steven Bergwijn is the guy.
Yeah, Bergwijn,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. All right.
Yes, that's for Tottenham there.
There you go.
So yeah, Napoli not looking good in their domestic league, but looked really good in the group stages, in my opinion.
They did.
And Barca, with all their injuries,
This might be a case where both sides are kind of happy they drew the other, if you know what I'm saying.
I think so. You're
Yeah.
right. And then, but here's the thing: if Napoli does not grab the first round, they're gonna have a hard time at Barcelona.
yeah,
Yeah.
Barcelona is again, it's an Anfield. You
Yeah,
know?
it's an intimidating venue.
Camp Nou, it's you do not want to go there and be already down. it's just not gonna go well for you. That's my opinion.
Well, we saw with the Liverpool squad last year.
Yeah, like they really
They
grabbed
played
that.
well, but they still managed to, lose. Was it 3-0?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the game was a 50-50. For stats wise, Liverpool had as much chances. They had as much chance on the target. They had much possession. It was no any different from what Barcelona was doing. The win on the ball was about the same.
Yeah.
The fouls
So-
were about the so the corners were about quite equal. It's just they captured the opportunities because
that's
they were
the thing,
sharp
right?
at
Camp
home.
Nou,
Right?
it's
No, the
kind of
crowd
like
is
an
behind.
Anfield, right?
Yeah, the crowd is behind
Totally,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember it was the same way last year too when they played. Not exactly the same when Leon played them in the round of 16, but at the first leg, Leon held them to a 0-0 draw at home. They got to go to Barcelona to get a result, and just once things didn't start clicking, it just cascaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
So-
90 plus thousand fans in a stadium. That's a lot of people, guys. When you go to Barcelona, that can scare anybody to come over. Just walking on the pitch, I can imagine the ground
Yeah.
shake. So it's a place you do not want to go. I don't suggest Napoli to lose this game. However, I think Italian defense, you can't underestimate. Barcelona does have a bad record going to Italy. With Rome, they had a bad record.
Yeah. I remember Rome
Right.
knocked them out a couple
Yeah.
years ago,
Oh
right?
yeah. So going to Rome, Barcelona did not do well.
That was an impressive match, too.
Oh, unreal! It's one of the best ones. So Napoli, with the injuries that Barca have, I'm gonna cross fingers, but I'm probably gonna fail for this one. I'm gonna say a draw.
I'm saying Napoli.
Ooh.
I think Barca, if they figure out their injuries, maybe get a player back, they're going to go through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, well, they still got like about a month almost until
Yeah.
the second leg, right?
Exactly. But this match right here, I think Napoli's going to
They have
win
to
it.
capture. Yeah, I agree. They have to capture.
And I don't think they're going to win it by much. Maybe a goal or two.
Oh, yeah, it screams
no.
1-0, yeah.
Oh no, it won't be any more
Yeah.
than that. No.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, your wisdom is sound on this. Your logic is impeccable, Mr. Richard.
Yeah.
I could see a 1-0 Napoli victory
1-0, eh?
pretty easily, yeah.
Really, you guys are going for that, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Napoli is going to take it.
So your prediction is 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1-0,
1-0?
2-0.
Ah. Okay.
No
I'm gonna
more-
go
no
0-0.
more than-
I'm gonna
yeah.
go 0-0. Period.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go 0-0 draw. I don't think if Napoli doesn't score, Barca is not scoring. I just can't see. I mean, Messi. You see, that's the thing, man. It could be one of those corners or set pieces. I'm gonna go with the draw on this
Okay.
one. I'm gonna give Napoli a little credit here.
We'll find out.
Isho Shiba, you're gonna like this comment.
Yeah. He's a big Napoli
He's a big
fan.
Napoli fan, one of our fans,
Yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
All
right.
Chelsea, Bayern Munich. That's an interesting one there.
After watching Chelsea today, I don't see how Bayern Munich doesn't win this fixture.
Yeah, Bayern Munich is is a powerhouse too for the German league there.
Like a
And
couple guys.
Lewandowski's just on fire every season. You just can't stop that guy.
No.
And and they have Coutinho there too, who's fitting in quite good in my opinion.
Chelsea
for being
is
on loan there.
weak.
Yeah.
Chelsea is poor defensively. Chelsea does not have a power striker. Like we seen it in today's game
Yeah, they were definitely missing Abraham
against
today.
United, and I mean United is also a struggling team this year, and I mean they look out of order. Once they got scored on, Chelsea just literally looked like they were scraping the ball. They had no plan. They do not get me wrong. There were some wrong decisions made, I believe. There's some VAR decisions that were questionable, but at the end of the day, I think Chelsea just looks poor. For the fact that they played home, they look so poor, and I believe Bayern Munich's defense. It's not Chelsea. Chelsea will not break that.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's a little too young. They got a lot of young players on that
Yeah.
team, who are this is their introduction to the European stage, and
Abraham's not
Bayern
there.
is a kind of a tough gear to get into.
Yeah.
So thoughts on Abraham? What's your thoughts as a striker?
Oh, he showed some good flashes this year. He's had some nice goals.
Okay.
He's
Could
gonna-
definitely turn it. He could be.
I find he goes down too easy sometimes. When he gets a little bit tossed around in the box, I find that he kind of like just gives out too easy, and he just gives out like he goes down too easy. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to remember he's still young. He doesn't have that.
Yeah, he hasn't really developed the core strength or anything.
Yeah,
and
to go up against
True.
the the so-called veterans or the men of the the Premier League, the ones that will step to the ball and not budge, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta give that a little bit of time for Abraham to grow into those boots and
Although Pedro was back in the game, so
Yeah, Pedro played a good game today.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so, and I think it looks like Zappacosta has been given some license to move a little forward. He's been doing well up there. I think he did really impressive today. Despite their loss, against United, but I want to be positive. I'm gonna go a draw here.
interesting. I think
I'm
Bayern.
gonna go a draw. I'm
Bayern
gonna
will
change
be
my.
taking it.
I say Bayern's stronger. Okay, and if that turns out Bayern's stronger over in the two leg, I think Bayern will go over. Okay, but I say I'm gonna go with a draw on this one again.
I think we're gonna see just a Lewandowski goal fest right there. He might even bag a hat trick. I think.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, Rudiger just weak. Jesus.
Bayern Munich for me.
All right, changing my mind, Bayern.
Then we're unanimous. Then we're all seeing Bayern.
Jesus, Bayern.
You
it
know,
is.
like when Arsenal always went up against Bayern Munich, a London club, they just always come up short. So I don't think Chelsea's gonna make any difference here against them. Right now,
Chelsea
Bayern
don't got
Munich
no history.
Yeah,
All right.
they got a little bit.
Yeah, actually, they got a little against Bayern, I believe that was against.
Was it really?
Yeah,
that's right.
they won in Munich in the final.
That's right, wasn't it?
The year they actually got there.
Oh, geez. So there you go. Maybe they pull off another history.
Maybe.
Jesus,
Yeah. So my Real Madrid.
They can brag
versus-
about two things in life. Okay.
Yeah. Real Madrid versus Manchester City.
Yeah, it's
Madrid.
Really, Real Madrid.
I believe at the end of the day, Madrid is a club of pulling off games
They are at home.
at home.
Manchester City has been poor lately in the Premier League.
Okay, let's put it this way.
But they flew through group stages. Like they finished.
what in that group? How could they not?
I agree. I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, sometimes there's some
The
clubs
biggest
that can-
challenge was getting to the hotel. What's all those road fixtures, man?
Yeah, you gotta give him some credit, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Show up to the game, maybe put on a boot.
Yeah.
Like Jesus. I mean, we're talking about Atlanta here, okay? Or
Well, this is their
Shakhtar.
first round of 16 where they actually have a tough opponent, in my opinion.
This is a step up from Schalke last year, that's for sure
Yeah.
for them.
So
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna make it to group stages. I mean, to quarterfinals to get knocked out this year. Maybe they get knocked out, round of 16.
Okay, so here's the thing, okay? It's kind of I want to use the words kicking the ball for them, okay? Because currently City's been told to your bend. We talked about earlier, okay?
Yeah.
So how will the players approach this? There's two ways, okay? This is really gonna come down to Pep's coaching, I believe, because this is where Pep's gonna say, okay, guys, listen, we got a year here, last year here, we gotta either make it happen, or we are out for 2 years and we kind of like, okay, we just have to be accepted. So we either put the best. We know we lost the Premier League.
Yeah.
Period. No offense to the City guys, but they're done for this year for Premier League. So either they're gonna say, you know what, guys, we're gonna put everything in this game, and when you put your heart out, let's go with this. Or if Pep is not putting enough, I guess, mental, strength in the players, if he's not doing good enough job in that dressing room, I think the guys here could be, if I was in the City player, the next thing I would be thinking, okay, like guys like De Bruyne, we talked about, Aguero, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, like all of these guys, even Stones, and goes back to all the way back to the whole squad. Jesus, who's got a long career ahead of him,
Yeah.
He's a young Brazilian player who's actually really decent. I think he needs more playtime.
I think City's gonna, do everything they can to win this Champions League.
I think so, too.
Especially the players.
I picked up that vibe all year from City is that their goal this year, like right from the start of training camp, was to win Champions League.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of maybe sensed it, So would it be now? What I'm saying here is City really Pep. It will fall back on Pep. That will Pep be able to tell the guys in the dressing room and say, okay, keep a positive mind, guys. Let's do this. Let's get this going. Let's get this trophy. Okay, first time ever, we can go ahead and say, you know what? Doesn't matter. You're trying to stop us from not attending this the next 2 years, but we're gonna get this trophy. And I actually would like to see them to prove it to Champions League,
Yeah.
FIFA, that hey, we can do this, and doesn't matter you're trying to stop us. Because right now they could have announced this, guys. Like, why they didn't announce this at the end of the season?
Well,
This is kind of like a BS. Don't
It's
you agree?
definitely a big distraction for them.
And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. This is like a rival team for me because I'm Liverpool, supporter. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like kicking. Why could you just wait till the end of the season as a Champions League and say, okay, you're banned for next year? Because there's a massive break anyways in the summer.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, but listen, if they do win the Champions League, and looks like they're going to be appealing it, if they win it, that could be a huge factor on possibly, overturning it. Because those players now, they won the right, to be at that level again, even if they, let's say, don't place in the top four, which they're gonna, but, it's something that they're gonna be debating, that you can't take this away from the players, right? Even if the bans that they're putting in place are that going to be that strict, maybe they can overturn it to just other types of fines or restrictions.
See, it's kind of like, okay, I kind of feel for the players in this part, because the players just want to play. Okay, they get, the City offers them a deal. They sit down. Okay, here's the contract, good to go. They have no clue that, okay, oh shoot, City went over the budget 30 million or 50 million or whatever the case is, and whoever went into their pocket to purchase an extra player, they don't give a crap. That's not their business. They're there to kick a ball, play, wake up, train, get ready, and etc. Why are they being punished? Because technically, at the end of the day, they're being punished by 2 years of suspension. They're the ones being punished. Is the club that should be punished the 2 year of no transfer window or something? Now, you can sell players, but no transfer window. You cannot bring anything in.
Yeah, like what happened to Chelsea there.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I think that's reasonable, and then a fine. And a fine that is significant enough to put the club into a financial, not I'm gonna say a problem, but if they went above other teams, maybe pay a fee to the clubs that have. Sorry, but they affected them, So, in my opinion, I think the transfer, restriction would be reasonable. Now, if somebody wants to leave City, it's reasonable, But would you stop them from competition? Is it fair to the players that they just want to keep the ball and they sign a contract? They have no clue what the financial business is behind the back doors. And why are they being punished?
Well, these players, they're gonna want to perform, and if they do perform great, other clubs might see that are competing in the Champions League for the following seasons. So they may be interested in possibly purchasing them. Having those players transfer from Manchester City to, let's say, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or Barcelona. That could be a way out for some of those players if that ban does stay in place, right?
I guarantee you, if the ban stays, maybe not the September window, because depending on let's put it this way: if the ban stays, City players will want to leave, because 2 years, it's a long time not to play football for anybody.
Yeah,
not European football. Okay, so the question is this. Would they leave right away September? I don't believe that. I don't
think so.
Now, would it be a January window? I think it's a January window. And I think clubs, the reason why they wouldn't is because they want City to actually go to a financial point where, okay, guys, there's no point of paying these guys this much money because we're not making money off them. We're not getting
But
Champions League.
They might even be able to play the next season because I did see that if the investigation for the appeal isn't complete by the time that Champions League starts, they're going to be able to play.
Yeah, and it could be in litigation for a while.
So
there.
yeah,
Well, keep
if they can
appealing it.
drag that
Yeah.
out, that case, they're gonna have no option but to allow them to play. So
I gotta say, you know what? These clubs have obviously reasonable lawyers.
yeah, and they're gonna drag it out as
There's
long as
reasonable
possible,
money,
right?
drag it out long as possible, and then they can call back to obviously, almost like I want to say employee rights because they're even at the end of the day the players, but at the end of the day players are employees to the club.
Yeah.
So do they have any rights to speak in this case? Yes, they shouldn't be affected. It's like, for instance, hey, we're gonna cut your wage because your company messed up.
Yeah.
It kind of like doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I believe that it's gonna be just a fine to the club eventually, and then I think it's gonna be restricted to the club, just like Chelsea was, like you said.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more major
Transfer ban type thing.
transfer ban, yeah, that kind of stuff. So and then that's about it.
So
Real Madrid or City?
yeah, I'm gonna say Real Madrid.
Me too.
I like City. I think they're going to have a chip on the shoulder about this whole thing, and they're on a mission, I think.
Yeah, I think Real Madrid's taking it. Maybe this first game it could come out as a draw, but
Exactly.
Real Madrid's gonna
so
take
here's
it.
how I see it. I think the two legs, City will go guaranteed to take the two.
City,
Aggregate
yeah,
ways.
going on to
Yeah.
quarterfinal. You're
But
saying
I-
Manchester City.
Yes, but I think Real Madrid will take the first leg.
Okay. See, I say Real Madrid's going on to quarterfinal, but Real Madrid is probably going to take the first leg too, in my opinion. You're saying City.
I'm still saying City.
All
City's going through,
let's
eh?
move on
Yeah.
to Leon versus
All right.
Juventus. The last one.
I would like to see Liverpool and City in the final. Ooh, that would be some.
I don't know. I don't want two English clubs in the final again.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is it's gonna be kind of like Tottenham versus Liverpool there.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay,
They know each other too well.
I think the
And-
Barcelona game was, I think, already a winner.
If it shook out like that, though, that'd be the second time Liverpool played an English team in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
that'd be-
season, 'cause
that'd
they
be
start-
crazy.
Yeah, they,
So hopefully it's not City that goes to the final.
All right.
Leon
All right.
versus Juventus.
all right. Leon has been struggling this year in
Yeah.
the league, and this looks like the most one-sided matchup in the round of 16. I
Juve.
don't see how Juventus doesn't advance.
Yeah.
The 0-0 that Leon got against Barcelona at this stage last year would be about the best case scenario I see for OL.
Yeah, I
Juve?
think Juve's taking it as well. And,
Unanimous decision, Juve. All right.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are we gonna see a Ronaldo goal here, or what do you guys think?
he is the top goal scorer of Champions League, right?
Something like that. And I know I caught the Juve game on the weekend there, and he's got like 20 goals this year in La Serie A for them, and the next highest guy was Dybala with 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he is their offense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he carries the team just like any other team he's really been on. He finds those goals for them, right? I think Juventus is going through on that, no problem.
Yeah, they were in the top of the table there too with 16 points. So Atletico short with 6 points behind, and then Bayer Leverkusen with 6, and Lokomotiv with 3. So very poor performance by the Moscow
Yeah.
visitors there.
They gave Juventus a good game at Moscow, though.
They did.
That
You're
was-
right. It was a decent
Yeah,
game.
but I am disappointed. I've actually been watching the Russian league this year on YouTube, and they don't have a team in the round of 16 here or in the round of 32 of the Europa League.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe stop
they're not-
watching it.
yeah, that might be it. If they're not careful, they're going to lose that 6th seed to Portugal, though.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's round of 16, guys.
That's it. So we got our beliefs here and see how it goes, and
Yeah, we'll have to revisit it when they play their second leg.
Oh, for sure, and there'll be all sorts of
their
Razzing
second
about
leg
it.
will be March 10th, so it's almost a month away.
Oh yeah, it's a month break, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of games between injuries. So yeah, again, I'm interested. The one that I'm really interested about in this one is a Napoli Barcelona. To me, that's a big one there. That's gonna be. It's not that the teams are that great form right now. It's the fact that they're not in great form. Napoli is not the greatest, I think, in a whole group stage out of all of the teams. Besides the fact that they did well against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But Barcelona, the fact that they have some major key players are injured,
Okay.
and if anything happens to Messi, they're really going to be struggling. They're really going to pay the price, and doesn't matter Camp Nou behind them.
So that's your
just
match
got-
to
they
look
just got-
out for right there.
Yeah.
Napoli, Barcelona.
Napoli, Barcelona, second leg. We'll see how if anything happens to Messi, that's going to be a whew. Because I know Dembele is out for looks like a 6 month or even longer term. Is going to be out. Suarez, I'm not sure about these injuries, but
He's got some spinal injury or something.
that's
lines,
again,
I
it does-
think.
if
not
everything's on the
mistaken.
positive side, he's out again for at least a couple months. So
Spinal or knee, I can't remember there. Yeah.
I don't know. My matchup to watch is Dortmund and PSG. I think
mine
that's
too.
going to be a fun
that'd be a
one.
good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one.
That'd
to
be a
watch.
very intense, very fast-paced game.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's what
got
I'm seeing.
there's so many subplots there. You got
Yeah.
Tuchel's going back to Dortmund where he managed
Yeah.
before PSG.
I think that's gonna be one of those
See-
where it really does come down to goal aggregate.
yeah.
Who's
Whoever
gonna
gets the
advance.
most on the road
Yeah.
away, I think.
So top teams here. Your favorite top teams. List from first. Okay. First, the most likely to win. Out of here right here, round of 16, all the teams that you see. So the first of most chance to win to the
round of 8?
to the no. So like for example, I believe the most chance a club that will have to that has the chance to win this, I'll say Real Madrid. Okay. Now the next club, second. I want you to give me who's your second best chance and third best chance to the fifth. 5 clubs. Pick
Five is too much. 5 is too much. I mean, we can't even say who's going on to the next round yet.
That's what I did in the post in the group.
Oh.
Let's do 5. Pick your 5
All right,
teams.
so
okay?
my fave 5 here.
Yeah. Okay. Give
All
me a
right.
second here. Okay. I'm gonna have to write this out.
Okay, I'm telling you, you can just do it on the replay, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna favorite Liverpool.
Yeah. Liverpool and City are my top 2, mostly because the English league is so kind of settled right now that they can settle in under Champions League, whereas
That's exactly
Italy,
my reasoning.
So you think
Italy and Germany are in tight races right now.
So Liverpool for me because they can secure the Prem quite early.
Okay,
Focus
so
more
that's
on
true.
the Champions League.
Okay, so your number one chance to win is gonna be Liverpool.
Yeah, that's partially
You,
because
Benny?
of
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm Liverpool City 1-2 for that reason.
yeah
So who's your first one?
Liverpool. He said.
Liverpool and City second.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And you?
Okay, so Liverpool first, Dortmund second. I'm gonna say if Dortmund doesn't advance through this matchup against PSG, then PSG third. After that, I'm gonna have to say Real Madrid, then Juve, or Juve Real Madrid. Can't really decide.
Right
It's
now,
too far to go on.
You have to.
Right now,
No,
I'm
it's-
thinking Juve 3, just mostly because they're the team I can most easily see going to the round of 8 at the moment.
So you raise your third choice.
Yeah,
okay.
Juve 3, and Bayern
5.
4, and PSG 5.
Bayern 4, and PSG 5.
Yeah, I think PSG, I can see them kind of seeing what's going on with Man City and thinking, we got to do it this year or else
Yeah.
things might go badly.
I,
But they got to get out of the round of 16 first.
I see that too, but I don't think they're gonna make it.
Well, a couple of predictions were given in the past. I put this question into the group chat that we have too, and this were the
Yeah, like I said, Liverpool.
PSG was one of the top ones to pick too. So
5 is too much to pick at the moment. I think it's we'll know better when it's quarterfinals.
Oh yeah. We get to the quarterfinals because they do the draw.
Quarterfinals,
The
they
semis,
do a
right?
draw.
Yeah.
So any of these teams could be matched up. Like our 5 teams right now could literally be facing each other, and half our picks would be out the window right after quarterfinals
Yeah,
going
it's
into
true,
semis. But off the bat, Liverpool, Dortmund, and then I said PSG, Juve, Madrid, Juve. I can't really pick like that far down the line.
Yeah.
Maybe Juve above Madrid just because of Ronaldo in there, and he's won how many Champions Leagues now? So 5 himself, I believe, or 6. So
About that, yeah.
yeah. Although though, we'll have to find out. Even Liverpool too. They're amazing in the Premier League, but they have been struggling in the group stages. And
So
as much as I favor them, I don't know.
This is mine. I say Liverpool first.
Okay.
Second, Real Madrid.
All right.
PSG,
Okay.
Juve, and Bayern.
Interesting.
That's my choices. Now we'll see. So
I
we'll see how
did
it
leave
turns out.
Bayern off that. See again, like I kind of favor Bayern over Madrid now that I just remembered they're in there. So it's too hard to pick. Quarterfinals is where I can actually settle down and say, okay, if this team knocks this team out,
top two, official top two.
it's gonna have to be Liverpool and BVB.
Oh, Liverpool City.
I gotta tell you, that's the toughest group out of everything that you see here. Legit the toughest group. Look, all right, look, PSG. Come on, they got like a crazy squad.
Yeah.
Dortmund, they got a crazy squad. Atletico Madrid, they're 4th in their league.
They got
Okay.
a really good squad.
Just the fact that where they are
They're
in their
good.
league right now, it's what makes it craziness. Okay, so like Dortmund is what 2nd in their league right now, I believe. Just short,
It's
Yeah,
it's
they're behind.
just a bet short.
yeah.
I think like only-
Leipzig's in that mix too, right?
So and then you have PSG, who's the top of the league.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, 4th in the league. Liverpool, 1st in the league. Okay, then you go to like the next Atlanta versus Valencia. They're like
That's going to be interesting just because one of those is going to go to the
Exactly.
quarterfinals. It's going to be interesting to see which one does that.
Tottenham with RB Leipzig. Again, it's another
Interesting matchup.
It's just a matchup, but none of them are in the top of the leagues or not in the like they're like reaching the top 4 area, but that's about it, right? Now you go to the Napoli Barcelona. Napoli is
That's
decent.
an interesting matchup.
Barcelona is okay. Chelsea's poor. Bayern is great. So it's coming to like. Again, I'm going by their league, how they're currently, and then you go to the Real Madrid City.
That's a tough matchup.
That's a tough
Yeah,
match. They both. I gotta tell you, Real Madrid I think stands in the Spanish league a little better than City does in the Premier League. Again, comparison
They're
to
closer to the.
they
the
can
first
challenge
spot there.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They can still challenge for the title.
yeah, and then Lyon and Juventus. Like guys,
Yeah.
it's an out match I think, but again.
You never
Miracles
know.
can
Leon
happen.
could always surprise.
But
they
I
do
just
have some
think
talent.
the
so-
strongest group here is
Matchup.
definitely the BVB, Paris, and Atletico Madrid, Liverpool. I think that's
Those are the strongest matchups.
I think the strongest matchups, and then from there, I think the winner will be made.
Yeah,
That's-
we'll have to
that's-
find out. We'll see after the draw.
We'll see. Injuries can talk, and we'll see how it goes. But I believe it's the strongest group. If anybody has a potential from there, I say it's again. I'm gonna go for Liverpool, and then I'll go for Paris for a second.
Okay. This we'll have to revisit and find out.
All right.
That's all we have for this week, right?
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So thanks guys for listening in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Matchday Podcast. You can also listen to this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, and you can watch the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's all we have.
Thanks, Benny, for coming out.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
You're welcome, and we'll do some more. We'll have the Premier League discussion too, and then
Yeah. Well,
Game Week 27.
review
We need to definitely do that up, and then keep
We'll keep everyone updated.
keep
right?
everyone updated, and don't forget to listen to us, like you said. So see you
See-
game week 27, and after the Champions League. See you guys.
Yeah. See you.